All right, what is up? We are live. Going to start off with the paint scheme preview. The link is in the chat if you want to follow along. Starting with the number one of Ross Chastain. He'll be in the Worldwide Express Chevrolet normal car. We've seen it before. I like that blue color though. Always a big fan. Menard Monster Ford for Austin Cindric. So that's a very interesting that Monster on the hood of Austin Cindric there. Speculate as you will on the number two. Was basically locked into the next round of the playoffs. Not a lot of people had that going on. Austin Dillon with a good looking scheme here. The first non traditional scheme that we're going to take a look at here U.S. Army Air Force Bass Pro Shop. Easy for you to say. U.S. Army Air Force Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet for Austin Dillon. A good looking car, red, white, and blue, and just a good looking car. Legendary Salute, 10% off there at Bass Pro Shops. Bed Bath & Beyond back on the side of the car of the Ford there for the number 4 of 1, Josh Berry and Stuart Haas Racing. Kyle Larson going with his normal number 5, HendrickCars.com machine there. Castrol Edge on the side of the number 6 for Brad Keselowski. So normal, sort of a normal scheme for them this year. Going with the mainly black with the white roof, and then you've got the Castrol colors splashed on the side for color. Mattress Warehouse on the number 7 for Corey LaJoy here. Good looking car, the red and the white. I think they had him either last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. Or maybe this is back-to-back weeks. Cheddar's on the side of the Kyle Busch machine. Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen Chevrolet there. Lucas Oil on the quarter panel. Cynics and Bet MGM, along with the Zone, are sort of his contingency sponsors there on the side as well. Then you get a Chase Elliott with his Lumar scheme for this year. This is probably my favorite Lumar scheme of all time on the Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports here. The number 9, you got the teal 9, and you've got the burnt orange or red here for Chase Elliott. Good looking car. Winchester Ammunition Ford, number 10 for Noah Gregson. Good looking car. The black, sort of some hints of silver in there, and then red and white as well. FedEx with their normal scheme on the number 11 Toyota for Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney will drive the number 12 Worth Ford. White, black, and red. Also his colors. A lot of white, black, and red in the field. The Rush Truck Center's Shades of Gray for Chase Briscoe and his Ford Dark Horse Mustang. Cummins also on the rear quarter panel for that one as well. Meat and Bone back on the side of the car for Kaz Grala. Always a good looking car. You got the flames, you got the Meat and Bone. What more do you need for the Ford Mustang there? Barger Precast on AJ Allmendinger's number 16 Chevrolet for Colleague Racing. Of course, the big news this week is that Ty Norris will be joining that team from here on out, from this day forward, leaving Trackhouse to go to Colleague. So that was sort of the big story there. 17 Fastenal Milwaukee Ford here for Chris Buescher. Milwaukee just below the Fastenal there. So I find that interesting. Will we get a Milwaukee car in the near future with that Fastenal sponsorship? That is only a question that can be asked. How about that DeWalt Sawzall? Sawzall is actually a Milwaukee name. Reciprocating saw, the DeWalt reciprocating saw there for the junior motorsports team, still working after it took a ride around the racetrack. And that was an original DeWalt saw too, because they had the battery converter on it. Anyway, we've gone on and long enough about that. U.S. Army Air Force number 19 for Martin Truex Jr. He's basically got a flag on his car. So how can you not like that on the Bass Pro Shops Toyota on the number 19 there? DeWalt, speaking of DeWalt, smooth transition into DeWalt. Should have saved that story for right now, huh? DeWalt on the side of Christopher Bell and his number 20 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Hope and Yahoo are also on the rear quarter panel there as well. Number 21, Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center Dex Imaging Motorcraft Ford Mustang Dark Horse for the number 21 of Harrison Burton. Good looking car. He's going to need to basically win, or at least win 2 stages to get back in the mix here for the playoffs. We're all Harrison Burton fans here today, in my opinion. Shell Pennzoil 22 for Joey Logano Ford Mustang Dark Horse. We've seen that one before. The red and the white number 23 Mobile here for Daryl Wallace Jr. or Bubba Wallace, but don't call him Bubba Wallace Jr. because that's not the right name. Also, Toyota genuine parts on the hood of this machine as well. So the red and the whites and sort of a silvery black for the number there, chrome number maybe. Hard to tell on this artist's rendering, but good looking car there on the 23. 24 going with the HP, and they got the blue on the hood fading into white. Different look for William Byron and his Chevrolet today, but all a good look. I think it's a pretty good look. I like the fine lines in it. Pretty good looking color. And here's my personal favorite of the night. The number 31, Doritos Mountain Dew Food City Chevrolet for Daniel Hemrick. Food City always sponsors a car. It's always the Food City 500. So that's a retail or a grocery store chain up in Tennessee and surrounding areas. So I always like the Food City cars. And then you got Mountain Dew and Doritos, some of my favorite junk food of all time, and just a good looking car. You got the Mountain Dew green colors on it, just a well done paint scheme. Daniel Hemrick, one of my favorite cars, probably my favorite paint scheme in this field here today. Loves 34 for the side of Michael McDowell and his Ford. Good looking car, but we've definitely seen that one before. 38 front line for Todd Gilliland. We've seen this one earlier in the season, but you got the orange and the gray and the white there going on. Old Armor on the side of Ryan Priest and his Ford Mustang Dark Horse, and that is an adult beverage company. So Old Armor, adult beverage for Ryan Priest and the 41. 42 is going to be Pye and Barker Fire and Safety on the side of John Hunter Nemechek's Toyota for Legacy Motor Club, and then also his car is blue and green, but green and gold for his teammate here in the Dollar Tree Toyota for Eric Jones in the 43. The ketchup car for Tyler Reddick here. McDonald's number 45 of Tyler Reddick. The 47 refreshed Dasani Water, and then 48 Ally. Dasani Water, pretty good looking car. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s had some bangers here recently. 47 is a good looking car. 51 Pinnacle for Justin Haley. We've seen that one before. I might not get you, but he gets us on the side of Ty Yeezus Gibbs, number 54 Toyota here. Monster also on the rear quarter as well as Interstate Batteries. And Better Health with the pink car here, the 71 for Zane Smith. We'll see if he can continue his recent string of good runs. And Carson Hocevar in the Delaware Life teal and blue, shades of blue, Chevrolet 77, number 99 freeway.com for Daniel Suarez. All right, that's what they look like. Let's go to the starting lineup. Alex Bowman has your pole, crew chief Blake Harris, Kyle Larson. So it's all Hendrick front row. Kyle Larson starting second here with his crew chief Cliff Daniels. Rudy Fugle and William Byron rolling off third. James Small and Martin Truex Jr. rolling off fourth. Chase Briscoe and Richard Boswell the second, not to be confused with Richard Boswell the first. Christopher Bell and Adam Stevens going off sixth here. Carson Hocevar, Luke Lambert going off seventh. Denny Hamlin, Chris Gabehart in eighth, and Corey LaJoy and Ryan Bubba Sparks. College Park rolling off in the ninth place here. Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson going 10th. Then you've got Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Priest, Tyler Reddick rounding out your top 15. 16 through 20 is going to be Noah Gregson, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger, Joey Logano, Daniel Hemrick. And then 22 through the rest of the field here is going to be Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Todd Gilliland, Josh Perry, Justin Haley, Austin Cindric, John Hunter Nemechek, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Jones, Zane Smith, Harrison Burton, who's got a lot of work to do to get into these playoffs, but we're pulling for you, brother. Daniel Suarez, Kaz Grala, and starting shotgun on the field, getting the maximum amount of points if you're running late models would be Josh Bilicki and Carl Long as his crew chief there. All right, let's go to the stats to see who's got the best numbers here. And since February of 2021, Kyle Larson with 4 races has an average finish of 3.3. 5.0 is going to be the second place man of Denny Hamlin. 1 race underneath his belt is a 6.0 of John Hunter Nemechek. So if he can keep it out of the wall, he should have a good run here for the 42 gang. Brad Keselowski with the next one with a 4-race sample is at 7.5. Chris Buescher at 8.8 with his 4-race sample. Matt DiBenedetto not in the race, but with a 10.0 with one race. Then you got Chase Elliott at a 10.5 with 4 races. Josh Berry, only one race, but a 12.0. William Byron at 12.5. Michael McDowell, Alex Bowman, and Ryan Preece are going to round out your top 10 of drivers that have more than one race. All right, now let's go to previous winners because, well, that's a good way to pick who's going to win today. Denny Hamlin has 2 in that stretch. Chris Buescher has 1, and Kyle Larson has 1. So there you go. And then if we jump into top 5s, Kyle Larson has 4 top 5s in 4 races, 2 top 5s apiece for Seabell, William Byron, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, and James Dennis Allen Hamlin Jr. the third, carried to the 4th power. Let's go to laps led. 370 for Denny Hamlin, 359 for Christopher Bell, 248 for Kyle Larson, 239 for Ty Gibbs. So don't sleep on Ty Easy here. 187. That's an interesting number on MF and Cop there for Chris Buescher. It's a song. I'm just joking. 134 for Chase Elliott, 120 for Brad Keselowski. Nobody else is in the 100s. And let's go to average rating. According to driveraverages.com, and if you go to driver rating, Denny Hamlin is going to be your favorite at 120.9, 118.8. So you're sort of splitting hairs here between Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. And then 113, also Christopher Bell. So that's going to be, by the numbers, the 3 that I would pick. Also throw Brad Keselowski in there because he is over 100 at 102.7. Those are going to be your 4. BK, Seabell, Kyle Larson, and Denny Hamlin by the numbers, according to driver averages ratings. Who is going to be your winner here. And of those 4, big surprise, I'm going to pick Kyle Larson to win this race. Hendrick looking strong, at least in qualifying, so I'm going to go with him. But don't sleep on Denny Hamlin. This is one of his better tracks. And if you want to take a sleeper pick, nobody ever picks Christopher Bell, but this will be a good race to pick Christopher Bell or Brad Keselowski, who I know Bumblebee has announced in the Discord as her pick to win this race. So let's jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. Oh, got some super chats. OJ, goodness gracious, my man. Very kind. Thank you very much. Super fist bump. I'm going to give you the fist bump before I start talking about it. BB, will Josh Bilicki win the Bass Pro Shops night race? Anyways, thank you, bud, for all the great content. The best YouTube NASCAR channel. You keep it real. Love the Discord chat, fam. Yeah, Discord is definitely a fun deal down there. So much appreciated there, OJ. Thank you very much. FIA, I appreciate you, my friend, right there. 390. Didn't say anything, but I appreciate the chat there. Let's see. Let's jump back up here. See what you guys want to discuss. One thing before I get going here, I forgot to mention, they are putting the PJ, according to Jourdain Bianchet, they are putting down the PJ1. So after the races, they decided they were going to put down the PJ1 for the Cup Series race tonight. So the bottom groove will most likely work at some point once the PJ1 gets activated. So that's going to make it an interesting dynamic to look at in this race as well. Now we will jump into the chats because Joseph Wooten, with the other thing I forgot to cover, but we'll jump into it with his first question here. I see Alex Bowman replacement rumors are back in full swing. Justin Haley in the 48 in 2026. I don't see Justin as an upgrade from Bowman. So where that comes from is, if you remember my video from about a month ago, I said Rick Hendrick had signed Justin Haley, and that's why Justin Haley's going into the number 7 because Alex Bowman saved his seat by winning the race at Chicago. So he would stay in the 48, but Justin Haley, being under Rick Hendrick contract, would go to the number 7 because Rick Hendrick was going to keep him in the fold and basically pay for that ride in the number 7 for the rest, for at least for next season. And obviously Justin Haley has a longer contract than Alex Bowman has, apparently. And that was reiterated with some comments that Brad Keselowski made where he said, we wanted to keep Justin Haley at Rick Ware Racing, but we couldn't match the offer that he had with Rick Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports, which basically lets you know that removed all doubt that there was any of the rumor was false. So Justin Haley basically confirmed to be under contract with Rick Hendrick as it was announced by Brad Keselowski, which has led to the speculation that after 2025, that's going to be Alex Bowman's last year. Now that part is speculation. We don't know what's going to happen. Could Hendrick be running Spire, sort of like if you go to F1, how you've got Red Bull and then you've got AlphaTauri? Is that what Rick Hendrick is going to try to do with Spire over there? Is that where the money's coming in, being infused? So you could look at it that way. The other way of looking at it, of course, is the most salacious way, which is what everybody's doing to sort of get clicks and views. Alex Bowman is out of the 48 after 2025, and in 2026 it will be Justin Haley in the 48. So all kinds of different ways to look at it. All kinds of it's all speculation, but definitely he's got 6 drivers under contract because he's got Rajah Caruth under contract as well, in my opinion. So yeah, he's got 6 drivers under contract, and what happens? I'll just say it like Brad Keselowski said. That's their announcement to make, so I'll let them make that announcement. But speculate as you will. But that's where the rumors this week are coming from that Alex Bowman is out of the 48s after 2025. Whether or not that happens is anybody's guess. What's up in between the lanes? Good to see you on here, my friends. Hamlin got this, BB, and congratulations on your Jets winning on Thursday night. Hamlin got this, BB, though feeling it 100%. It's a great track for him. And it would be one of the most Denny Hamlin things ever to win this race after having 2 lackluster, we'll say, lackluster performances to open up the playoffs. Only Elliott Sadler and Dale Jr. have won Bristol night race starting from 30th or lower, says Jamie Schweitzer. Great stat, Jamie Schweitzer. I like that stat there. So I do remember the Dale Jr. one. I'd forgotten about Elliott Sadler, but yeah, there you go. Elliott Sadler knew how to get around this place for sure. I don't like Hamlin, but he might win, says OJ and Toothpaste. This is for sure one of Hamlin's better tracks, no doubt about it. I just hope the 14 makes it, and I will be good. Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble on the cut line there, but he has been running good at least the second half of the season. OJ and Toothpaste saying, let's go the 9, the 5, the 24, the 54, the 19, and the 6. Oh, I do have a poll question up. So yeah, it's a basic Betty poll question. You guys know what to expect from me on the pre-races, if you even have one on the pre-races. But best chance to winning out of the 4 today: Larson, Hamlin, Keselowski, or Chase Elliott. 10% for Chase Elliott, the first time he's ever lost a vote. Keselowski at 14%, 24% for Denny Hamlin, and 51% for Larson with 49 votes in. So if you want to vote on that, get your vote in now. If not, do not feel pressured to. 19 car is dope, says OJ and Toothpaste. It is a good looking car. Him and Austin Dillon have really good looking cars, but I'm telling you, man, that 31, for whatever reason, that just looks like the video game car because you got the Doritos, you got the Mountain Dew, and you got the Food City on there. Man, that thing looks good. I like it. I like the 31. I hope old Hemrick can do some work here today. Not as much work as Harrison Burton, who OJ and Toothpaste says, let's go Harrison Burton. That's right. We're all Harrison Burton fans today. Get them done. 21. Those lotto numbers says FI 390. So he's wondering if those will work for the lotto numbers today as well. BB, how popular was NASCAR back in the day versus today? Says OJ and Toothpaste. It's hard to say. Obviously, it had a peak at some point. But everybody talks about the mid 2000s, and you did have bigger crowds in the mid 2000s. But at least living where I live at in the Southeast, I always feel like it was just way bigger in the 90s. Mid 2000s, Jimmy Johnson winning 4 or however many he won in a row. That sort of took some steam out of it. So I don't know. It just always felt bigger in the mid to late 90s. I feel like that was just sort of like the big golden era. And also for me, I was younger in that era, so it was bigger to me as well. But just going off of how I gauge it, it felt bigger to me back then culturally, and then it just got bigger. I guess bigger worldwide with the introduction of Jeff Gordon and the Jeff Gordon era and stuff like that, and it just went to another level. And then when Jimmy Johnson sort of took it over the mantle from Jeff Gordon, it sort of had plateaued right there and it started going down because nothing against Jimmy, he just won too much. It got boring and he won too much, and I hate to say that, but in my opinion, that's what happened more than anything else. And then you got the playoffs. They tried to fix Jimmy Johnson winning too much with the playoffs and all this other stuff. So then we got off in left field, in my opinion. And I'm not going to get into all that, but that's just my 2 cents on it. Jimmy Johnson won too much, and it hurt the sport. But what is Jimmy Johnson supposed to do about that? Let's see. Will Ford keep winning the streak alive and keep the streak alive tonight in Bristol, Tennessee? They got a good chance. You got some fast Fords up there. I would lean toward Buescher and Brad Keselowski as probably my favorites as far as the Ford camp goes. But you never sleep on Penske. You never ever sleep on Penske. Howdy from the Great White North. What's up, Robin Marks? What's up, Canada? Stone Cold, Cole Custer. Also, I forgot. If Ford does win, to your point, this would be a sweep. Ford won the truck race with Lane Riggs. Congratulations to Lane. Ford won the Xfinity race with Stone Cold Cole Custer. And if Ford can win in the Cup Series race, that would be a Ford weekend sweep. So there you go. If you're a Ford man, looking forward to that. I'm sure you are. I thought the Xfinity race was single file boring last night? Do you think there will be any passing tonight? And last place for Josh Berlicki. I didn't answer OJ's question. So my last place pick is going to be, I think somebody wrecks before Josh Berlicki finishes. So I'm going to go, man, people probably don't want to hear this. This track has not been kind to Noah Gregson. This track has not been kind to Daniel Hemrick. So I'm going to go either Daniel Hemrick or Noah Gregson finishes behind Josh Berlicki. So that's what I'm going to go with there. I'm going to go with, even though I'm pulling for him, I'm going to go with Daniel Hemrick finishes last here. So that's my pick for to win on Earth 2. I thought that Xfinity race was a little single file boring last night. Do you think there will be any passing tonight, says Jimmy Howard? It sort of got, I think it will because they put the PJ1 down. So now you're going to have the inside groove. I just don't know how long that PJ1 will last because it's a 500 lap race. But yeah, it's more difficult when the only lane is the top lane. But Cole Custer made it work. So, I mean, you just got to get up there and be aggressive. I think they'll be way more aggressive in this race because it's a cutoff race. So I feel like that's how it's going to go. Now I feel lesser for not being, don't worry about that FIA. It's all appreciated. Don't worry about it. Rosie saying, woohoo. You're good, FIA. You're good, FIA. Don't worry about all that stuff. At the track, hoping for a Blaney or Kez win, says Cut a Whiskey Ramblings. Blaney is, I think Blaney's good here. Let me pull up Blaney's numbers real quick. Unless I'm mistaken. Where's old Blaney? Yeah, he's got average finish of 18th. He does have one top 5 and one top 10. Has led 68 laps here in the last 4 races. So he's not bad here. Not bad here. Let's see if he's the best of the teammates here. Is Joey, let me go to average finish here. Is Joey above him? So he is, of the Penske guys in the last 4 races, he does have the better numbers. So of the Penske camp, it looks like it's going to be a Blaney track there as well. I just hope that lost my place. I just hope the 14 makes the next round. He's got a pretty good shot. I'll Chase Briscoe, Disco Briscoe. He knows how to get around this track for sure. James Dennis Allen Hamlin or Martin Truex Jr. for the win, if you ask me. So Lanes is going with the Toyotas here. Brad for the win, says Robin Mark. So he's going with the Ford man, DK, Brad Keselowski. Hey, BB made bologna sandwiches for the race tonight. They are so thick. I love the big pieces of the meat. It makes my lips crack trying to get my mouth around it, says John P. There you go, John P. into his creative writing early as well. The sandwiches are in honor of you. I hope I get the meat sweats. Well, if you eat enough bologna, there's a good chance you're going to get the meat sweats there from the sodium. Eat responsibly. Let's go SHR and Cole Custer set it up for Chase Briscoe to move on to the next round. Let's go Briscoe. Let's see. Yeah, Briscoe, he's got a good chance there. There's no doubt about that. Sheldon Creed, second place once again. Poor Sheldon Creed, man. What if he wins? Bumblebee brought this up in the Discord, so shout out to her. What if Sheldon Creed wins the championship with no wins and just keeps getting second place finishes? That would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate teabag to, as she put it, to NASCAR's point system. What up? I'm live action in the pits. Car's looking good, ready to do battle. All right, Swan Dog, man on the scene. Looks good. Looks good. Hope you have fun there. I know you will because it's Bristol. There's the merch link there from B. Much appreciated, B. So if you want to purchase a hat, you get a free T-shirt right now. But we also got sweatshirts and other stuff in there, stickers and things. Slot car racing at Bristol tonight. Thank you, PJ1. We'll be asleep by like lap 10, says William Wagaman. Do you think Connor will replace Daniel Suarez in the 99 in 2026? As it's trending right now, it looks like that's probably what's going to happen. But a year is a long time for things to play out. So we'll have to see what happens. Hey, BB, sorry I'm late. It's all good, Jackson. You're all good. You don't have to be here at a specific time, my brother. Brad Keselowski said Justin Haley signed a contract with Rick Hendrick. Whoa, LOL, says OJ and Tuva. Yeah, it's all over Twitter and stuff. I guess I can post it in the Discord, or I should have posted it in the Discord. I meant. Do you think bigger teams are starting to make an alliance with smaller teams? Since eventually they said they can only have 3 cars in a stable, says like dislike. Oh yeah, 100%. You knew that was coming. Like that's been going on. Like you saw Trackhouse working with Colleague there for a while. I don't know if that'll happen going forward, allegedly. But and then you see Hendrick working with Spire. You've seen the most evident of all of them, of course, is 2311 working with JGR or the other way around. So yeah, You're going to see a lot of stuff like that. And then it's not even anything new. Like basically, Hendrick Motorsports helped SHR get rolling when they first started. Hendrick Motorsports helped Joe Gibbs Racing get going when they first. Not a lot of people remember that, but they really helped Joe Gibbs Racing out a lot to get going in the early years of Joe Gibbs Racing when they had Dale Jarrett over there driving the number 18 Chevrolet Lumina. Like how far back you want to go? Let's see. Let's see. What's your opinion on Corey LaJoy being in the 51 next year? Yes or no? I feel like he's got a pretty good chance of driving that full time next year if he wants to. I feel like that would be a good driver for Rick Ware Racing to pick up. If they can't pick up somebody else that they like, but I think Corey LaJoy would be a good fit. He brings some sponsorship there, and they can find sponsorship for the rest of it. I have the Gibbs Toyotas plus Larson and Bowman in my lineup. Says in between lanes looks like a pretty solid lineup. The movie Days of Thunder marks the peak of NASCAR's popularity, or sort of close to it there, Robin Marks. It sort of put NASCAR to another level there for a little while. But yeah, shortly after Days of Thunder is probably culturally the peak of NASCAR. Then you had the peak a little bit for Talladega Nights for the people that enjoyed that movie. Of one, I Am Not Which. How rare is the driver swap between LaJoy and Haley? We've had a handful of them in NASCAR. You get maybe one or two per decade, so that's the one that we get this decade. Max Verstappen struggling lately, winning, says OJ and Toothpaste. All good things come to an end. You can't have the most dominant car, but for so long. Cole Custer, congratulations on the regular season championship, and Lane Riggs winning back to back, says Jackson Robinson. Yeah, they've Lane Riggs said he wanted to be the spoiler, and thus he is. Stupid ads. I hate them. Yeah, they don't even give me the option to block them anymore, Jackson, unfortunately. So sorry about that. Corey LaJoy will be the last place, says Jamie Schweitzer. Your final four prediction. Oh, I don't know. Two Hendrick cars and two Joe Gibbs cars. So there you go. Pick whichever ones you want to be there. I thought the CW did a great job with yesterday's coverage, said Benjamin Lewis. Yeah, I mean, they're basically just using the NBC crew. And somebody, I think it was Wise Guy, brought it up in the Discord that it's a preview of what's to come because next year it's probably going to be the same with the CW, but they're just going to use NASCAR's home base studio or whatever NASCAR media's got going on over there. That big thing that they just built over there in Charlotte. Let's see. What do Pat McAfee and Corey LaJoy have in common? NASCAR wins. Both guys like to punt. Oh, okay. Both guys like to punt. I thought you were going to say they both have 0 wins in the Cup Series. That would have been mean to say in between the lanes. Lane Riggs will be a major contender next year in the Truck Series, winning 2 in a row and not even in the playoffs, says Don McLeese. That being said, I think Corey LaJoy is a good driver. I just thought you were going a different way with that one. Lane Riggs will be a major contender next year in the Truck Series, winning 2 in a row. Oh yeah. Lane's a good driver. He's a NASCAR Weekly Series national champion. Like the ability is there's no question about his ability. He's good, as good as they come. William Wagaman, what was so different about last night's race? Only thing was it was on CW. They started some crappy NBC crew on. Yeah, that's going to be for the rest of their first I guess 8 or 9 races there. It's going to be the NBC crew. Chase Elliott wins and Denny Hamlin finishes last, says Joseph Wooten. So he's got Denny Hamlin finishing last. Dale Senior loved the top lane at all tracks, says PC Gone Rogue. So did Richard Petty. FIA saying boo. I think Carson Hocevar will do good tonight. He really ran good last year, says OJ and Toothpaste. This is definitely a Josephus type track. Is Dale Jr. still inebriated on pit road right now, says William Wagaman. I don't know if he got that twisted last night or not. It's hard to say. Lane Riggs, let's go. My pawpaw picked him Thursday night, says Jackson Robinson. What's up, BB and everyone? What's up, T-Van? At least Creed is consistent. Hey man, he's consistently good. You can't say he's bad if he's consistently finishing second. Let's go except for 2311. Let's go Cars except for 2311, says Crystal. So she's not a 2311 fan. I like it, Crystal, says OJ and Toothpaste. OJ and Toothpaste. I know OJ and Toothpaste, the Chevy guy, for the most part, except for the truck he drives. I think Zilich will be in the 99. I'm just messing with OJ there. I think Zilich will be in the 99, says Jackson Robinson. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably what most people think. But like I said, a year is a long time. You can never tell. If you go to probably one of the worst hot takes of all time, gosh, I can't even remember the guy's name now. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. But yeah, a year is a long time for stuff to happen. I'm picking Denny Hamlin, number 11. Says Jackson Robinson. BB, the worst car accident you've ever seen. Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess in Cup it would have to be like, who was it? Mike Harmon. Was it Mike Harmon at Bristol when the car opened up like a can opener, or maybe Michael Waltrip in like the Kool Aid car? Those are probably the two worst ones I've seen. BB, your thoughts on Justin Haley to the 7? Uh, will he be in HMS soon? Says OJ and Toothpaste. He's already, to me, he's already at HMS. They're funding his season next year. So you're going to see what he can do in pretty good HMS equipment. Whether he goes to actual HMS, like I said, a year is a long time. So we'll have to see how things shake out over there. Nick Sanchez, BB, had to be had a nice week, announced his plans this week, and he advanced to the round of 8 on Thursday night, says Jackson. Yep, indeed, indeed. Over under for yellow. And Harrison Burton also announced, I haven't talked about it on an episode yet. Harrison Burton also announced he'll be racing for AM in the 15. Over under for yellows tonight. I'm going 12. I'm going to go under 10. I'm going to go under 10, but I think we'll get right at 10. 11 yellow. Superior Earl saying 11. BB, who do you think will win on round 2? On Earth 2. I got you. On Earth 2. Yeah, I went with who did I say? Daniel Hemrick. I'm going to go with Daniel Hemrick there for the Earth 2 win. BB, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm doing super good. Maxing and relaxing here, Jackson. B4, Hendrick Bowman's numbers weren't any better than Haley's with the smaller teams, says A1. That's a fact. And I think the one thing, Alex Bowman needs a deep playoff run, and he's doing a good job to get that done. Him and Blake Harris are doing a good job to get that done. And taken care of. But the one black eye on Alex Bowman's resume is not the wins. He's got plenty of wins. It's not the top 10s. It's not that. It's his playoff performance. So if you look at Alex Bowman's playoff performance at Hendrick, he's got a 16th, a 12th. He did finish 6th there his third year in the playoffs. So he had a good run there. He got 14th, 16th, and last year 20th, obviously, with the injuries and stuff like that. Couldn't be controlled. But this year he needs another deep run, and I think that would do a lot to help him stay in the car that he's in. So his playoff performance is the one thing that you can sort of, if you really want to nitpick something about Alex Bowman, you can't nitpick the wins, you can't nitpick the top 10s and laps led, but you can, if you want to, nitpick the playoff performances and finishes. I think that's where a lot of the real criticism, not just people being Captain Hater Pants or whatever, or being Alexander. Appreciate the super chat there, my friend. I hear a lot of fans say that they don't like certain drivers because they have no personality, like the HMS drivers, for example. To me, these fans just want drivers to be clowns and comedians, like the Waltrips and Penske drivers. I think you have a pretty good point there. It comes to a point. I'm going to use Denny Hamlin as an example here. You remember the first year with Actions Detrimental last year. We'll just go last year because that was the first year, right? Remember how like out of pocket and he would just say all these controversial things. He was always just trying to be in the news cycle. That was a WWE caricature of, in my opinion, Denny Hamlin. Like he would say things on purpose to get some traction. And you see how many people gravitated toward Denny Hamlin. A lot of people that were like, oh, I don't like Denny Hamlin, but I kind of like his podcast. Like you would see a lot of that conversation happening. So I think that's what they're talking about. But I don't feel like that all of those comments, he was sort of doing the Stephen A. Smith thing. Like Stephen A. Smith's not nearly as angry about all those things. There's no way a human being could be that angry about all those things that Stephen A. Smith gets angry about and shouts about on his show, right? So some of that stuff Denny Hamlin, in my opinion, was saying for TV. And I think you're right. So as far as that goes, I think a lot of fans want these drivers to have a persona, a character that they play in front of the camera, at least. And a lot of fans don't want that. So you're sort of caught in between a rock and a hard place. But to me, this has always been sports. You've always had characters and you've always had quiet guys. For every Dale Earnhardt, there's been a Matt Kenseth. For every Jeff Gordon, there's been a Jimmy Johnson. And that's exactly what I was talking about with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson won too much and didn't necessarily open up to the media the same way that a Jeff Gordon and a Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richard Petty didn't open up to the media the way that those guys did. So there's a fine line. And to me, you have to have both type of drivers. So the people arguing about this driver doesn't have a lot of personality, good, good. We need quiet drivers like Martin Truex Jr. and guys that keep it professional. But you also need to counteract that. You need drivers that have big personalities like a Noah Gregson, guys like that. So you have to have both. I don't think you can have all of one or all of the other. You got to have both, but it has to be natural. You can't force it. And to Denny Hamlin's credit, since I started out like this, you've seen this year on Actions Detrimental, you've seen a more real Denny Hamlin, and I think he's actually won over more fans this season by being more real and open about the contract talks and everything going on with the charters and things. He's just been more real and open. And I think you've seen people sort of gravitate to the more real Denny Hamlin. He doesn't feel like he has to play this character anymore. And I feel like that's actually gained him more fans than it gained him last year when he was just trying to get, in my opinion, a bunch of headlines. I might be totally off with that, but I'm just taking a stab at it as my best effort there. Top 10 for Dale Jr. says in between the lanes. Yeah, he did a good job in his last race. And then as soon as he gets out of the car, he's like, this is my last race. So there you go. And Martin Truex Jr. said he wants to race against him next year in the Xfinity Series. So look out for that. BB, what's the best food to order from Jack in a Box? Best order from Jack in a Box is to cancel your order and order from somewhere else. OJ Mayetta, New Jersey, was proud of Martin Truex or Ryan Truex last night. In between the lanes says, yeah, holding back the KG veteran Dale Senior. Dale Jr. was Ryan Truex last night. I'm picking Bell for the championship right now. Says Jackson. I like your pick. I like Christopher Bell. OJ and toothpaste, nothing good. At Jack in the Box, stay away, says Rosie. So Rosie agreeing with me, laughing my butt off. I know I drive a Toyota, but go 5, 24-9, and Ty Gibbs 54. There you go. OJ on board with the 54. So there you go. Yeah, I was just giving you a hard time, my man. BB, who would you, and a good looking, he drives a good looking Toyota truck too. Good looking truck. BB, who would be your long shot pick to win the race? Thank you, BB, for your awesomeness. As for tomorrow goes, go Niners. Indeed, Crystal, forever faithful. Go Niners. My long shot race, it's not really necessarily a long shot, but I don't think a lot of people, well, if you want to go super long shot, you can go John Hunter Nemechek. He does have one good run here, and I don't think anybody would pick him to win a race, period. So if you want a super long shot, there's a super long shot there. But nobody's really talking about Christopher Bell per normal, and nobody's really talking about Brad Keselowski. I like both of those guys for the win as well. Josh Berry, he's a short track ace. Don't sleep on him. And Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs would be another one. So there's some long shots for you. I love Justin Haley, says Jackson Robinson. I think he's a good racer too. Mike Harmon was the one that had basically the can opener wreck there at Bristol. Let's go, BB. 12K, my man. I appreciate you, Tommy the Tree. Like I said, after the season's over here, short track season over, we're gonna meet up at the American Hero like old times, my dude. Let's see. I saw today Mike Harmon wrecked for the first time. That was insane, says Benjamin. Yeah, it's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Him and Darrell Waltrip right there. Bodine truck race, turn 1. I was there, says Baron Von Weebs. So okay, so the truck race for was that the Onion? Or was it Jeff Bodine? Because I think Jeff Bodine drove the 7 there, X-side for a little while, truck from time to time. So I have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with that one off the top of my head. Why is Bristol a night race on a Saturday night instead? Does it have anything to do with the NFL? I don't know. I just remember way back in the day, it was just always like a Saturday night race. But they have had Sunday night races at Bristol as well. I just can't remember because the only reason I remember the Sunday night race at Bristol was because Alan Kowicki won it, and it was way past my bedtime, and I was super happy that I got to stay up late because the race was still on. Yeah, that's sucks. Harrison Burton to the 15 a.m. racing is just a horrible. Hope he rebuilds that program, says Jackson. Yeah, it's on. I'm with you, Jackson. I think it's going to be an uphill climb for AM racing. They have been basically hit or miss this season. They've been good with Joey Logano, but who isn't? So hopefully they get something going over there in their second year. Best sauce at Wingstop, probably lemon pepper, other than regular hot sauce. BB, which race, if any, will be KFB's best chance for a win in 2024 for the remaining races? Well, he's got a good chance here tonight. Unfortunately, didn't qualify well. Hopefully the RCR short track problem isn't back, but he's got a good chance to run here if he's got any type of speed. Win here if he's got any type of speed. Talladega, he's pretty good at super speedways. I wouldn't sleep on him at the Charlotte Roval. Probably those. If I'm just off the top of my head, those three. Let's see. I enjoy Action's Detrimental. It is a pretty good show there they got going on. Who do you think is going to get the 15 if Priest goes to RFK uh, for RFK Racing? I'm going with Cody Ware full time. Unfortunately, says Jackson Robinson. I don't know, man. That's so far. It's so far ahead. Me personally, I think Ryan Priest could bring you more sponsorship. So it just depends on kind of what Rick Ware Racing wants to do. But also, they're talking about getting another charter, so we'll just have to see what happens with that extra charter. So it might be the 15 basically open, and also RFK gets a charter from that front row deal or from the Haas deal, where Haas is shutting down. BB, would you do a show with Nick Wright? Says OJ and toothpaste. I mean, maybe depends on what the show was. If it's about NASCAR and the money's right, I guess, at least for one season. Penske drivers do have comedic content under Team Penske videos. Team Penske does good point, Jamie Schweitzer. So if you follow some of these sites, you do. Some of these drivers have a lot of personality. You just don't see it on mainstream. Penske does a good job. RFK does a great job. Colleague does a good job. Those are the ones that jump out in my mind as the ones that push it pretty good. 2311 does push a pretty good amount of content as well. Tonight for Kyle Busch's best chance to win, I think, says Jackson Robinson. Definitely going to be one of his better chances. Thoughts on Dale Jr.'s performance? I thought he did good. Josh Bilicki will be last, especially all things considered with the radio issues and all that. Josh Bilicki will be last, so that's who Jackson Robinson has winning Earth 2. Bristol needs to go back to asphalt, bring back the bump and run, says Dawn. I think also that, but also get rid of the progressive banking. So if you repaved it with asphalt and got rid of the progressive banking, I think that would bring back OG Bristol, and I think everybody would be happy with that. Denny's walking on the edge of a razor blade tonight. One mistake could put him out of the playoffs. Yeah, it's got to be super stressful for him. So he's probably just going to get in that car and focus on what he can do. Which drivers are in must-win situations at the moment? I feel like anybody at the cut line is in a must-win situation, because if you wreck, you're out of it. So basically, I don't know, anybody from 12th on back, I would say. Or no, maybe 10th. I can't remember who has like 30 or 40 points or whatever. I would say maybe from like 10th or 11th on back. Let's see. BB, you don't like the Jack in the Box authentic tacos? I can't say that I've liked anything I've ever had at Jack in the Box. Not that I've eaten there a lot. One time was basically enough. I just like more professional drivers like the ones at Hendrick, because they set an example on how to interact with the public in normal life. I don't like flinging jokes and jabs around, says Alexander. Yeah, and there's definitely a place for that. Everybody appreciates a different type of driver. And some people do like the more buttoned down professional drivers. And obviously, when you're representing a multi-million dollar operation, it probably does pay off to be more buttoned down. So there's all kinds of different ways to look at it. So nothing wrong with whoever you pull for, honestly. I hope Kyle Busch gets back on track after being punted by Corey LaJoie at the Glen. See you after the race, maybe, says Jackson. Yeah, we'll do. I'm for big personalities, but they can't fart the wrong way and say what they feel, because sponsors are micromanagers. That's exactly right. Jimmy Howard. What about AJ or SVG? Says Crystal. At Charlotte, I think for sure they have a good chance. AJ is going to be in the 16 full time next season, so he's good to go. SVG will be in whatever the other Trackhouse number is going to be there, maybe 91 or whatever, 97, whatever. I think they announced it's going to be. They announced what number it's going to be, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, whatever number Trackhouse is going to run over there. Just turning the crank on the jack in the box. LOL, says Greg Brown. Next, NASCAR young superstar, says OJ and toothpaste. I like William Sawalich, and obviously Connor Zilich is going to be the one that a lot of people are talking about. Lane Riggs has to be in that conversation. Oh, there's so many, man. There's so many. But those would be three that I would mention. I think Sammy Smith will be there. Corey Heim definitely has to be in that conversation. Just so many to name. Actually, third with Brett Moffitt, says Jackson Robinson. Mets outlier, Tyrone Taylor. Outfielder, Tyrone Taylor walks up to the plate by way of ice cubes today. Today was a good day. Okay, I got you. Let me reread it. Mets outfielder Tyrone Walker walks up to the plate by way of ice cubes. Today was a good day, says in between the lanes. There you go. Reading, it's fundamental. BB, I also bought thin cut bologna slices from the deli During stage cautions, I'm going to do yellow mustard and bologna slices, face face mask, facial routines, and cut the holes out of my eye for sorts. So you're sort of doing the Silence of the Lambs. You're getting the old Silence of the Lambs going on there. I didn't think I had a name for that. I do have a name for that. Going Silence of the Lambs with the bologna slices here today. Mike Harmon, Rick, or Michael Waltrip Rick. Pictures or it didn't happen. John P. Let's see. Mike Harmon, Rick, or Michael Waltrip Rick. What was worse? I don't know. They're both pretty bad. Uh, Sprite egg rolls and jalapeno poppers. Don't forget the ranch, says Crystal. Hey, there you go. Ranch is always a good dipping sauce. Best wing sauce at Wingstop is the Atomic sauce, says Joseph Wooten. So he's going with Atomic. BB, what's the worst chicken wings? I don't know that I've ever had necessarily bad chicken wings, but gas station chicken wings, gas station sushi, gas station anything is typically going to be your worst bet there. Detrimental. Denny wins tonight and loses the championship and retires. Says Craig Sowers. BB Jack in the Box tacos, 4 for $2. Says OJ, and you're still overpaying somehow. Crazy, huh? I'm picking Ryan Blaney to win Bristol tonight, says Jamie Schweitzer. Not bad. 88. So 88 Bristol for Jeff Bodine. I'll check that one out. BB, the worst fast food experience you ever had, says OJ and toothpaste. I don't want to name the restaurant, but it was at Martinsville. I got a chicken biscuit, and this is old school Martinsville, back when there was only like 2 places to eat there. Got a biscuit, it wasn't cooked, and I basically had food poisoning the rest of the day at Martinsville. Can't even remember who won. I think it was Tony Stewart that won that one. I'll have to go back and look. I don't understand why Hendrick signed Haley. I don't see him as anything special, says Escobar. He's done really well in the Rick Ware equipment. So maybe that is probably why they signed him. I'm guessing. That's just my guesses. Jack in the Box equals Pepto-Bismol equals the squirts. Thank you, Denny, the door campster, says William Wagaman. I do see something special in Haley, says Robinson. Stroker Ace or Days of Thunder? Stroker Ace, in my opinion, Jamie Schweitzer. I like that one better. BB, the worst car you ever owned, the Fiat that currently sits in the driveway at the satellite office. How many overtimes do you think, BB? 2 at least. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Oh, the 88. SVG's driving the 88. That's right. Yeah, the 88 controversy. I totally forgot about that. So yeah, SVG driving the 88. What a great race, everyone. How many overtimes? I need to answer that one. I'm gonna go 0. I'm gonna go 0 overtimes. I got a feeling we've had an overtime for every race in the playoffs. So I'm gonna go 0. I'm gonna go contrarian and go 0 overtimes this race. Have a great race, everyone. Peace out. SVG to the 88, says Jackson Robinson. BB, favorite soda and worst soda. Oh man, I didn't like that. They did like a flaming hot Mountain Dew. I thought that one was pretty gross. That's probably been the worst one I've ever tasted. Favorite soda. I like Cactus Cooler because we can't really get them down here. That's more of a West Coast thing. But there is a red Sundrop, cherry Sundrop. That's probably so that one's hard to find too, even though I live down here. Let's see. At Martinsville, I set a track record by smashing 16 Martinsville hot dogs during the truck race in 2006, chili and all. I had a little stomach ache for the rest of the weekend, but I drank Bushes. Hey, there you go, John P. I feel you, my man. Nothing wrong with that. You're a brave dude, first off. 16 hot dogs at Martinsville. So that's a brave man right there. So much tip of the hat to John P there. All racing movies are great, says Baron Von Weaves, except for Talladega Nights, the second half of it at least. Burger King versus McDonald's. Oh boy, that's a tough question. I do like a Big Mac. The Whopper is pretty good. I like the original chicken sandwich at Burger King, but that's it. That's where it ends for Burger King for me, other than maybe chicken fingers. But you got to order 100 of them. McDonald's is pretty much the same boat. I like the chicken nuggets. I like the Big Mac. The rest of it, McDonald's does have better fries. So I'm going to give a very slight edge to McDonald's, but I don't really like either one of them. It's not my first choice for either one of them. Moxie is the worst soda. I've never had Moxie, so I'll have to take your word for that. Tab went out of business, so I guess we could go with Tab. Favorite M&Ms. I like the pretzel M&Ms, but also if you're going between the regular flavors, I like the peanut better. But I like the pretzel. The pretzel is probably my favorite overall. Let's go, baby. Race day, says Russell Dominguez. I like the Blenheim. Hopefully, I said that wrong. Right, I probably said it wrong. Ginger ale with the pink cap, says Greg Brown. I've never even heard of that, so I have to look that one up and see if it's around me. NASCAR tonight, BB. Are you ready to rumble? I am ready to rumble. Culver's is number one. I need to eat at the Culver's. I've never ate it once. I need to check that one out. I need to check out a Cheddar's. There's several sponsors I need to go check out. Casey's Pizza. A lot of people in the Midwest told me I need to go get one of those. Breakfast pizza, they said, is like what you got to go for there. Forgive me, BB, and community. This bologna burger has become very popular lately. What exactly is the hype, and what is it a seasonal thing? My apologies again. Never heard of a bologna burger before, says Crystal. So in the where I live at, Orange County, the racetracks, Orange County, Ace Speedway, and South Boston. South Boston's probably the most famous for it. That's sort of like like if you go to a minor league baseball game or something like that, you know how they always got one crazy food that they're sort of known for. This isn't necessarily a crazy food, but it's just what those three racetracks were known for. And those were the main three racetracks I went to when I was a little kid. I know for sure Hickory and other racetracks have it. Went to Tri County this weekend. Tri County has one for sure. And Tri County's is really, really good. So shout out to Tri County. Great, great bologna burger up there. But it was just like a track food, and you really never see to your point, you really never see a bologna burger anywhere else. So it was always just like a racetrack food, and that's where the name came from and all that good stuff. So good question. It doesn't get answered a lot, but I know a lot of people do have that question. So I appreciate you asking it, so I can answer it. And so maybe now some more people know about it. Six non-stage ending cautions, I call. And if you look deep enough in the channel, there is a version of me making bologna burgers. So that's out there somewhere. Six non-stage ending cautions, I call. Okay, so six non-stage ending cautions for Jamie Schweitzer there. Culver's cheese curds are fire. That's what I hear about Culver's. The cheese curds are where it's at. M&M's mix was one of my favorites. Kyle Busch schemes. Peeps Pepsi kind of sucked. I don't like Peeps, so I didn't try that one. So I'm going to take your word for it. BB, your favorite NASCAR race and worst NASCAR race is OJ and toothpaste. Oh, I don't know. I got a lot of favorite NASCAR races. Probably North Wilkesboro, one of my first NASCAR races. I went to Darlington, but I was too little to remember it. But Dale Earnhardt won that one. So I'm going to have to put that one up there. But North Wilkesboro had a crazy finish in like 88, 87, 86, somewhere in there. Maybe before that, but it was Rusty Wallace and Jeff Bodine. That's who ended up finishing. But before that, it was Dale Earnhardt versus Ricky Rudd, and they basically wrecked each other twice. And that's how you got Jeff Bodine and Rusty Wallace going for the win. So that whatever year that race was, super little kid. I'm not even sure how I remember it. Another favorite one is the 84 Firecracker 400 that Richard Petty won because I called the win that race. I'm not going to get into that story because it's a little long. Least favorite race. Oh man, least favorite race was Bristol the day after we lost Alan Kowicki because it was just so sad watching the number 7 Hooters hauler go through there and make a lap at Bristol. That was one of the saddest things. So that's probably my least favorite race. Let's see. Let's go. Denny says on the go with CeeLo. So CeeLo going with his man Denny Hamlin. It's a good track for him, man. He might get it done. Cheerwine is my favorite soda, says Jimmy Howard. Cheerwine definitely one of the all-time favorites in North Carolina. Let's see. Favorite and worst NASCAR Bristol memory, says OJ and toothpaste. I don't know. Pretty much anytime Dale Earnhardt won at Bristol was probably, I guess, my favorite. Least favorite Bristol memory. I just mentioned that one with the Alan Kowicki deal. 9 cautions. I'm calling it, says Jackson. Thanks for another great show, Jamie Schweitzer. Appreciate you there, Jamie Schweitzer. Thanks for hanging out with us. Did you already talk about the tire wear? Are they bringing the same tires? They'll probably account for it with their setup. So you probably won't see the same thing with the tires popping and all that because the teams are going to adapt to the setup. Basically, the teams were super aggressive with the setup. Adding to the tire wear problem. So now that they know that's the tire they got, they're just going to adjust the setup. And so there's going to be a lot of tire fall off, but you won't see it with the tires popping after, 50 laps or whatever it was last time. Tony Stewart, 2012 versus Kenseth, says Jackson Robinson, favorite memory. Get out of here, clown. Get out of here, CeeLo, says OJ and toothpaste. So he's anti Hamlin. They've been going they've been going off about that in the Discord there. Hamlin versus the non Hamlin fans. It's been a pretty good time. You know, I got to shout out my boy, says CeeLo. I see you. I see you there in a little bit. So CeeLo. Oh yeah. So by the way, if you want to check out a live stream during, I always forget to do this. Check out CeeLo live stream during the race, and also check out. He's got another one coming up here, but check out Elite Precision. He's got another. He's got a really cool video he's working on coming up. So yeah, live stream tonight though here with CeeLo. If you want to check that one out, he does a great job over there on his deal. Hope that 11 has the same engine they had at Sonoma. Says OJ and Toothpaste, LOL. So there you go. He's hoping another engine issue for Denny Hamlin, which would not be a good day for him. All right, 30% going with Denny Hamlin to win the race. 45% Kyle Larson going to get the win. 15% for Keselowski. And in the first time in human history, Chase Elliott has finished dead last in a poll. And we're going to end it with that one at 10% for Chase, 15 for Kes. All right, we'll check you guys after the race. Good luck to your favorite driver and hope it's a good race. Peace.